Hello everyone, my name is Jeff, and this is the Sarazanmai Episode 6 review. With me, as always, is Torie.
Hello.
So, we start off the episode with the kids from the last episode being turned into Kappas, and they are still missing from their regular, everyday life, and Kazuki's family is wondering, like, oh, where'd he go? But they seem to be pretty chill about it, except for, of course, Kazuki's brother. Seems, it's got that whole ominous shot where it's just showing the back of his head so you can't see his face, but he's probably really sad kind of thing.
Isn't it kind of weird that the parents don't give a shit?
Yeah, they're very...
Anime type parents, or they don't care?
Yeah, I feel like they should be a little bit more concerned. They don't seem panicked at all or anything. It just kind of seemed like this is a regular thing that he goes missing sometimes, and then they don't find him. But I mean, it's only been a day, I guess.
Teenage angst, it's usual.
Yeah. So we then return to our main cast, who are still Kappas, like I said earlier. And Kazuki is living it up. He loves being a Kappa because he gets to eat cucumbers all day. And his friend, I forgot his name, but the one
Enta.
that likes him, Enta likes being a Kappa because now he gets to hang out with Kazuki all the time. And the edgy boy, do you know his name?
Toi.
He's just kind of third wheeling it, I guess. He doesn't seem to be very concerned about being a Kappa, but he's just there. And there's a scene where they go sumo wrestling. Very homoerotic scene between Kazuki and Enta, and Enta's all about that. Like, they show Kappa on Kappa skin action, very graphic.
I know, it's all sweaty and everything.
They're in those sumo wrestling garbs where it's basically just like a gigantic Speedo. And they have some, very interesting camera work there, cinematography.
Well, what's weird is, one, this episode doesn't follow the normal sequence of events, which is kind of interesting. But the what's his name? The king guy?
Kappa Prince.
Kappa Prince. He keeps them as Kappas because they didn't defeat the last Shirikadoma person. But then they just play games all day and hang out. And what's the point? Was that supposed to be a punishment? Because they're not being punished. I mean, I guess people are going to be missing them. That's about it.
Well, I mean, yeah, it seems like they're having a good time and all that, but I suppose it's required so that Kazuki can kind of reflect a little bit, and that's what happens in this episode. He goes through a bit of a transformation, a bit of a spiritual transformation, and becomes his real self by the end of the episode. And that's, I guess, what they needed to do before defeating the guy that they couldn't defeat last episode.
Oh, that makes sense, because he had turmoil in when he was going up the butthole and pulling out the butt bead.
Yeah.
But I kind of like him as Kappas and doing Kappa things. It's pretty cute.
It's funny because there's dramatic moments in this episode where they're frogs, but they're doing crazy shit. Like, at one point, Toi pulls out a fucking gun and just starts shooting shit, which is hilarious.
The gun is like twice his size.
And then there's a scene later on where they're having an argument, and then Toi punches him in the face. He's like, "Snap out of it, man!" And it's just funny because they're just these little cute frog things.
The other thing that this episode brought, which I didn't think I was going to get ever, was a backstory kind of to what the hell's going on.
Yeah, so there's some semblance of a plot here.
With some is in quotation marks, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it's more than I thought we were going to get, because they didn't mention anything like this at all in the prior episodes. But I suppose we should have expected it. We should have seen it coming, because there was reference to the otter people whenever the sexy cops extracted their desires. There's that otter symbol everywhere. But we learned essentially that the otters basically eliminated the Kappas from existence by stealing all their Shirikodama, their desire, their butt nut,
the butt bead,
the butt acorn with the desire. So they stole that, and I guess they also killed them all or something. And so
no, I think when that happens, when you get that taken, then you die.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, so that's another thing they reveal in this episode is when you take the I don't know what to call it. I'll just call it by its real name, the Shirikodama. When you take the Shirikodama out of a person, they basically cease to exist in reality. Like, they don't just die, they get erased from existence, literally.
Which is kind of, they alluded that in previous episodes. Anytime they would defeat the people, the
Kapa-zombies.
Yeah, the Kappa-zombies, the cops would have a photo and they would just like disappear.
Yeah, they disappear from that photo.
Mm-hmm.
So after the otters have eliminated the Kappas, they started working on the humans, which is what they're doing right now, stealing the Shirikodamas from the humans.
Which also makes sense because we were wondering why the hell this town is just used to all like boxes floating around and cats floating around and all that crap. But it's because their memories get erased of all that stuff happening, right?
I don't know. Maybe?
But then wouldn't the Kappa kids, wouldn't they forget too?
I was just gonna bring that up. Maybe being a Kappa means you still remember all those things that happened, maybe?
Maybe.
I don't know, I'm not sure. But anyways, in terms of the plot of this episode, we see an interaction that I didn't think we were gonna see, which you see the sexy cop, the one with the shark teeth, interacting with Kazuki's brother, Haruka. And they had a little conversation, they're both talking about like, they both miss someone or
Lost
somebody. The sexy cop's kind of complaining about how his partner basically left him. We don't really know what he's up to at that point, but sexy cop is kind of upset at him for some reason. And they kind of discuss that they have that commonality, that Kazuki is missing his brother. And then suddenly I was like, oh, this is kind of a sweet moment. Maybe there's some humanity in these sexy cops. But then he's like, well, let's see what's inside you, little kid. I'm going to see if desire's in your heart. And I guess he has sleepy powers because he like waves his hand over his eyes and it just makes him go to sleep. And he also incapacitates his Haruka's dad, who brought him there. And thus, the Kappas spring into action. They are nearby, coincidentally. They basically run into him. And Kazuki runs away in fear or embarrassment, maybe. But then they resolve to go and save him. And this is when the episode gets all crazy. This is when they explain the plot stuff. There's a cool scene where they are chasing him, and Enta and Toi are all helping Kazuki get closer to his brother. And finally, we see that, what's his name? Haruka, he's like in a box, and he's being shipped off with all these other boxes.
Which, are all those boxes people?
I think so. Those are all people that they've been...
So they just basically steal away hella people? Because there was a lot of boxes.
Yeah, it seems to be a large-scale operation. It must be that these aren't the only two actors in this otter society, like these two sexy cops.
Well, maybe because the sexy cops are always doing their dance and their presentation in front of the police like the whole police academy thing or whatever. Maybe all those police are bad. They're all part of the otter.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. I like that.
That's why they don't give a fuck every time they start dancing and talking about.
They just brag about it like more than anyone else, and everyone else is just like, oh, this fucking again.
Jesus.
This again.
I know.
Anyways, so Haruki's box gets mixed in with other boxes, and then all the boxes basically get dumped into this. I don't know what it is. It must be a Shirikodama extractor thing. And they assume that Haruki basically dies, and then the Kappa Prince offers Kazuki an option, which is to save his brother by basically taking his Shirikodama, or taking Kazuki's Shirikodama and implanting it into his brother's, but of course that means he ceases to exist. But he is willing to make that sacrifice, and his friends are all like, hold up, don't do that. And they basically save him from doing that by Toi taking out a gun. And I like how they store things in their shells.
Yeah, it's like a backpack.
Yeah, that's got some good utility to it.
But I like how that's just like, okay, yeah, let's trade your Shirikodama thingy, and they're like, he's like, okay, and then all of a sudden this giant crane, like, where the fuck did that come from, comes down, and he's just descending down. I don't know what he's supposed to do. Find his brother somehow in the vat of darkness.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but he lives, and Haruka dies.
Yes, he dies. I was actually thinking he was going to die.
I thought so too.
I thought it was possible that he was going to die, and I thought it was possible that Kazuki was going to actually sacrifice himself, because this anime has no... It's an original anime, I'm pretty sure. It has no source material to draw from, no manga that it's based off of, so it could really go anywhere, really.
Yeah, from the wackiness that we've seen, it doesn't seem like they're not afraid to take risks.
Yeah, that's the sense that I got. I felt like this is I feel like this is a show that wouldn't be afraid to do that. But turns out they didn't. They don't do that. I mean, I guess that would be
for now.
I would have respected the show so much if they actually went through with that. But I'm not too super mad that it didn't happen. But the fact that it made me believe that, I think, is always respectable in a show. It's like, if you make me doubt that the obvious ending isn't going to happen, then maybe you're doing something right.
You know, when I thought how the story was going to go, that Kazuki would sacrifice himself and Haruka would live, and then Haruka would find out about all this, like, Kappa shit, and then he would take the place of Kazuki and the rest of the anime.
Yeah, I was thinking of that too. But if you think about it, that wouldn't really work out, would it? Because he's not really interesting.
Yeah, he's not. He's only, what, like, 2?
He's a little kid with no legs.
Yeah, so he has not many secrets to unveil.
Yeah, I stole a cookie from a cookie jar.
Mm-hmm.
So Haruki actually gets rejected anyway. So he goes down this hole, which I guess shows whether or not your heart is full of desire or full of love. And his heart is full of love, so he gets rejected.
But they don't want that shit.
Yeah, and they take him to another processing area where they basically shred him because he's useless.
It's so awful. It's like they steal you away and hope for you to have desire, but if you don't, we're just gonna...
dead anyways.
You're dead anyway.
It's a lose-lose.
Which is kind of weird. Why don't they just make that vat, like the abyss of darkness, just like one-on-one? Like, sort out the love, sort out the desire. If everyone dies anyway, why do they have to take them to a whole new section?
Yeah, it seems like a very inefficient manufacturing process.
I know. Actually, maybe it's not. When they shredded the love people, you could see this goo coming out. Maybe that's love goo.
It was goo? I thought it was dust.
Oh.
It was all...
It kind of was very, like, reflective, kind of like...
It was shimmering.
Yeah, shimmering.
But that's because they're all lovey and glittery, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I thought it was juicy. It's more like dripping.
I don't know. I don't think I saw juice.
I don't know. I could be wrong.
But, so yeah, now Haruki's box is being moved to the shredder, and the Kappa squad has to go save him, and they all run towards him, and we get a little flashback as Kazuki's running towards his brother, where he gets one last message from Haruki, and he's talking about how, I hurt my brother, and it basically reveals that the reason Haruki has the scent pouch that Kazuki's mom had was because he actually ran into her at one point and picked up something that she dropped, and Haruki was kind of telling off his mom, being like, don't take him away from me.
Well, that explains why Haruka chased him when he was going to the train station to meet his mom. Yeah,
he thought that he was going to run away with her.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she said, don't worry, kid. She said that, right? She's like, don't worry.
Yeah.
But I guess he didn't believe her. I guess he doesn't have a reason to believe her. Yeah, I could see that. Makes sense. Mm-hmm. It's not like the explanation we had before where the only thing on that road is a train station and nothing else.
Well, what I want to know is, because that's a very long text message, how
many texts was that?
I don't know, but I don't think Kazuki had enough time to read all of that, so I don't think it was his flashback.
I think it was. Well, that flashback was kind of woven into it, but
yeah.
It was also being narrated as those visuals were appearing, right? Like, yeah, I think he did read all that. Maybe he's a fast reader. I don't know. But, I mean, certainly the way it was edited made it seem like a lot longer than it really was. I don't really know if it was that long. But anyways, Kazuki has basically regained his resolve in solving his brother, his love for his brother, now that everything has been explained. And then they have the final encounter with the shredder, where the Kappa Prince is like, use me, and then he turns into a ball, and then they pass him around soccer style, and Enta passes off the ball to Kazuki, and Kazuki kicks it over to the box, thereby displacing it from the shredder. And the Kappa Prince also can transform into a parachute. He can transform into a lot of things. He transformed into a ring that you use in ring toss games. Mm-hmm. He transformed into like a stripper, basically, with high heels and everything.
Yeah.
Like I said, he transformed into a...
Wait a second. That was him pole dancing?
Yeah.
What the?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen him transform into like that kind of humanoid shape whenever he, turns them into Kappas. I don't really know what the extent of his powers is.
This is a little weird, but this whole time when I thought I saw other Kappas, I didn't think that was him. but I guess.
Oh, you thought it was different Kappas?
I thought so.
Oh, no. I think it's the same one because even in this episode, they basically explain that he's the last one, right?
I guess so, or at least the only one.
The last living Kappa.
Which is wrong.
Yeah. Also, now that I think about it, why are the humans able to turn into Kappas? What happens there?
Well, they say something about how the otter people were otters, but they turned into all humans. So that's why Sexy Cop has pointy teeth, because he's actually an otter.
Oh, yeah. Well, anyways, they save Haruki, and they also end up defeating the Kappa zombie from last episode. I'm kind of sad that we didn't get to see some of the recurring songs that we do every episode.
Dun, dun, dun. They played it in the background, but
yeah,
I wanted to hear it. But
yeah.
So that's why blonde Sexy Cop was mad at other Sexy Cop, because other Sexy Cop was going to like chase some like human desires and shit. I don't remember what he was gonna do.
I don't know.
And that's like human, because they're otters.
They're otters. Also, if you think about their dance, it's very otter-like.
Maybe.
Yeah, like they go like this, like they have kind of otter paws. Their hands or whatever. Anyways, that's I guess basically the episode. They return to being humans, and yeah, Kazuki's all like, yeah, I feel good. I'm like a different person now. So do you think that's the end of Kazuki's story arc, or are they just going to focus on the other characters from here on out, or is there other surprising developments along the way?
I think Kazuki's going to have another secret revealed, and that's going to spark some new drama. Or maybe like Haruka's going to... Because they've... Haruka kind of touched on having the scent pouch and stuff, and his mom, so I think there's still stuff they can build off on that.
Yeah, but his main story with his brother is pretty much done, and I think you can basically dedicate the rest of the show to the other two characters, because Toei certainly still has some unresolved shit, and also Enta.
That's true.
Because Enta, like, his love for Kazuki, I don't know, like...
Is that interesting? Do we want to see that?
I think I do, actually. Because I don't know... It doesn't feel resolved to me. Because it's basically a love. It's like, it's like having a love for someone that doesn't love you back, kind of thing.
That's true.
So I'm sure he's gonna come to terms with that some way.
This is the love interest of our show.
Yeah.
Do you know how many episodes this is?
It's either 11 or 12.
What?
Yeah, it's one of those short ones.
Which means we're like halfway done.
Pretty much, yeah. So, and they could also, like, I think the remaining characters' storylines don't have to be wrapped up. I don't think they'll need more than 2 episodes to wrap both of them up. 3 at the most. But then, there's also the whole stuff with the Kappa versus Otters. Mm-hmm. And at the end credit for this one is very interesting. We see what looks to be sexy cops before shit went down. They're dressed up in very fancy, like, military garb, like, kind of. And they bust in on what appears to be the Kappa prince in his humanoid form. And his desire, like a black shadow shoots out of his chest, and I don't really know what that means. Is that like, that's what he is now, I guess? He was able to extract himself out of his body, and now he's just a Kappa? I don't know.
But he kills that guy, Mako or something?
Oh yeah, he busts out, and there's the explosion, and then, one of the sexy otter cops from before has died. So there's some mysteries there too, and they seem to also possess emotion, and they might be sympathetic.
Isn't it weird that just when we said this is like Saturday morning cartoons where the formula is never gonna change, and then they change it? The heck?
Yeah, I mean it's a good thing, I think.
Yeah, it is a good thing.
This episode was very exciting, very fresh, and speaking of Saturday morning format, I actually kind of missed those songs. So hopefully we get to see these songs again back next episode in some capacity.
I don't know, because like I said, they were fading it out, and today they completely faded it out. So maybe no more songs.
No more songs. Will there be a new song? I want a new song.
New sexy cop. Oh, maybe when we see flashbacks between the Otter and Kappa fights, they'll be like,
they'll dance together?
It's like that musical, dang it.
High School Musical?
No. Dang it.
That's all the musicals I know.
It's like Romeo and Juliet, but with like Latin people, like Latinos. Oh, it's like musical? That. You guys know that. You know what I'm talking about.
Grease? I don't know.
Okay, let me ask you one last question.
Okay.
If you had to choose between being a Kappa or an otter, which one would you be?
I don't think I have enough information to answer that right now.
Okay, well, if you didn't... Okay, I'm not telling you to pick between the Kappa Kingdom and the Otter Kingdom. It's just if you could be an animal, would you be a Kappa or an otter?
Oh, like
just
otter
right now.
being IRL otter, and then Kappa being Kappa we see in the show?
Yes.
I'd be a Kappa, bro.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, Kappas aren't, like, you can't see them. They get into theme parks for free, which they establish in this episode. They're shapeshifters. Yeah, an otter is just an otter. Like,
I mean, they could be like Kappa otters where they have things of the same quality.
well, we don't know that.
I know, we don't know that.
So if you're comparing otters as we know them in our world and Kappas as we know them in this fictional world, I'll be a Kappa.
Okay. I think the Kappas look like platypus eyes. Would you be a platypus?
You're all about the aesthetic? Is that what this is about?
What?
You want to be an otter, huh?
I kind of want to be an otter. Otters are cute though.
They're evil.
And the Kappas are kind of like Psyducks.
The
like
otters
the worst,
commit genocide.
Worst Pokemon.
The otters killed everyone and they're killing people.
I'm not saying I want to root for them. I just want to be one.
That means you gotta kill people. Can you do that? Wow. It's a long answer. I think that's a yes.
I'll get back to you on that answer.
Okay. Well, is there anything else you want to mention in this episode?
No, I think we're good except for you know how we were talking about how people might lose their memory if the person vanishes from being in existence, but people didn't lose their memory today. So why was nobody freaking out that sachets were still flying around in the air? And
Oh, well, I don't know. It's just a normal thing. I mean, I guess you could say that if Kappas have been around, if they've been integrated into the society for a while, I mean, there is a gold statue of a Kappa in the middle of the city. I'm assuming humans know about Kappas.
well, they do.
Yeah.
Who was it? Somebody in the first episode told us about them and said something offhand like, "Don't get your shirkadoma up your ass" or something.
It was one of the grandmas, I think. But yeah, if they're part of the society, then I'm guessing that people know that, like, yeah, Kappas sometimes, like, because they're invisible, but they can still affect things, it seems like, because didn't Haruki, or no, the cat landed on
Oh yeah.
Kazuki when he was in Kappa form, and he bounced off him. He didn't pass through him like a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
He literally bounced off him, so he still had, like, a physical presence. It's just he was literally invisible.
Okay. All right.
So maybe that's the explanation. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed listening to this. If you like this, you know what to do, and we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.